Okay, so this is going to be a critique, really, of someone else's dice game. It's been said that the best way to learn is from your mistakes. I think it's even better to learn from other people's mistakes. So that's what I'm intending to do here. And this is Lady Lilia, by the way. I'll put a link to her YouTube channel in my description. Actually, it might be pronounced Lady Lilia. I'm not 100% certain on that. This isn't a dig on her, by the way. This is just, it was a really good Let's Play, and because she's new to the dice game within Kingdom Come Deliverance, I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to comment on what's going on there.
Okay, let's see if I can remember how to do this. I did mess around with this a little bit on stream. It was on console though. Okay, I have to use this button. So we basically want to get the highest score without failing. So
just a real quick comment there. The object is be the first person to reach the designated score. In this case, it's 2,000. So it's more of a race than anything else. It's not just who can get the most points. It's who can get to the set points first.
I think we need pairs. Let's go to the help page. So 1 is worth 500, 5 is worth 50, or sorry, 1 is worth 100, 5 is worth 50, and then multiple dice just basically gets multiplied. Multiple dice of the same kind gets multiplied together. So you want the same dice. You don't want to get like a straight. It's not like The Witcher where you're playing in like poker or whatever. It's just dice. So in this hand, we don't have anything, so I'm just gonna hold the E. I'm just gonna hold the 1. God, I can't.
Okay, just a quick comment there. It's not pairs. She said, I think we need pairs. That's not entirely true. Well, it's not true at all. What you need are 1s, 5s, or triples of anything. And really, 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, 6 of a kind, they all work too, but those are going to be extremely rare. You'll be lucky if you see those. So for now, the focus would be on 1s, which are worth 100 points, 5s, which are not presented here in her first roll, which are worth 50 points, and then 3 of a kind, which is the value times 100. So as an example, if she had 3 6s, then that would be worth 600. But there are no pairs. It's true that you could roll 2 1s, but there's no multiplication for them. It's simply a 1 dice plus a 1 dice, which is worth 200 points because each 1 dice is worth 100 points.
Can't talk today, I'm sorry. So we want to do score and roll again. So we'll take 100 points and re-roll. And what we're looking for is more 1s. We didn't get more.
That's not correct. She said what we're looking for are more 1s. I think she's saying this, and this is going to come up later in the video too, because she believes that any dice that played here that can be added to a dice that's already played, that has already been played, gets counted with the previous score. In other words, let's say she rolled, well, this is actually a bad example. I'm not going to go into an example. Just suffice it to say that she's not necessarily looking for a 1. She's looking for a 1 or a 5 or a few of them or any triple. But whatever score she gathers from her second roll is an independent score from her first. You don't get to roll again and then include a previous die in a previous calculation. It simply gets added to it.
More 1s, but we did get 3 2s. So we might as well take that, and this is only 300 points, but there's a chance that if I re-roll again, if I don't get a 2 or a 1, then I lose all of the points. So it may be worth just scoring and passing, and I think I'm going to do that and play it. Okay,
another minor mistake here. She's talking about the risk of playing these 3 dice to score a measly 200 points. That's only going to leave her with 2 dice, and it wouldn't be wise to roll again with only 2 dice. And she said because she needs a 1 or a 2. That's not true. She needs a 1 or a 5. I believe the reason she's saying 2 again is because she thinks that rolling a 2 on a third roll will get included with the previous 2s that she's rolled, but it will not. So on a third roll, if she decides to play these 3 dice on a third roll, she would need a 1 or a 5, and since there's only 2 dice, there's no chance to get a triple. So it would just be those 2 dice. That would be quite a risky roll, because you only have 2 dice to work with.
It's safe. So that means we end our turn with 300 points. We'll see what he gets. He's got pretty much the same thing I got. Grumble, grumble. Oh, he's already ahead. He's already...
Oh, okay, that's not true. Well, the part that's not true is when she says he's already ahead because he scored 200 points. He scored 200 points. This is his first roll, so he's earned no previous points. She's at 300. So the reason this is a minor thing, but I just mentioned this so it's not done until his roll is done. He could bust at any point. Just because he has 200 now doesn't mean he's going to get any points at all, any additional points. So don't try to predict what you think the outcome for the other player is going to be. Just kind of follow along and watch what he does. If you're focused more on what you think is going to happen, then you may miss something that he does that will help you later on when playing the game.
He's already got me beat. The game ends whoever gets to 2,000 points first.
So now they're even, 300 and 300, but he's still rolling. His turn isn't over yet. And he busts.
He got busted. Ha! That means he had 0 points because he screwed up. All right, we've got 2 4s. I think I should... Oh, wait, 2 5s. 2 5s. Let's keep 2 5s and score and roll again.
All right, that's not a bad decision. I would like to point out a strategy consideration, though. So the only thing that she could play were 2 5s. However, 5s are basically the worst dice that you can score with because they give you the lowest number of points. So she had to use 2 dice just to get 100 points. And that leaves her with 4 dice, which is a fair roll in my opinion. I would definitely roll if I still had 4 dice left. It might depend on what my score was at the time, though. However, if she had only kept 1 5, then she would have 5 dice to roll with on her second roll, greatly increasing her chances of either getting a 1 instead of that 5, which will give her more points, or getting a triple, which could greatly increase the number of points that she's getting. So in terms of strategy, if you ever get 2 5s, I'd recommend just keeping 1. You may be thinking, yeah, but I could get an extra 50 points. But in terms of the potential scoring for each roll, 50 points is a really small value. So the only reason you would play the 1 5 is because you have to play at least 1 dice in order to roll again. Ideally, if you had a 1, I would roll a 1. So as an example, or I would play a 1. So as an example, if I rolled 6 dice on my first roll and I rolled a 1 and 2 5s and nothing else could be played, I would completely skip the 2 5s and I would just play the 1 to get 100 points and then roll again with 5 dice, hoping to get a triple. Of course, you could debate this a little bit, but basically the idea is to maximize the potential number of points that you can get with a single roll. If you play this safe bet, which is a little here, a little there, you're probably not going to reach the total score of 2,000 before your opponent.
Ooh, 3 5s. Okay. We could take...
Okay, she just said, ooh, 3 5s. But she doesn't have 3 5s. She only has 1 5. The reason she's saying 3, and this will become clear later on, is because, as mentioned once before, she thinks that she can count these 2 previous dice and recalculate her score. That's not the case at all. These 2 dice scored her already 100 points, 50 points each. Had she rolled 3 5s all at once and played those, then she would have earned 500 points. So on a separate roll, she now has another 5. But this doesn't get added to the previous score. In other words, she's not going to get 500 points. she's only going to get 50 points when she decides to play this one dice.
3 5s and 2. Oops. I meant to keep the 2s too, but I pressed F instead of E. Oh well.
Okay, she said she meant to take the 2s too. That's because she's thinking that you need pairs to win, and that's not correct. So 2 2s won't give her anything. She would need at least 3 2s, and that wouldn't be a very good strategy either. It's not a very good use of your dice. 3 2s will only give you 200 points, which is just a little better than a 5 dice. A 5 dice is worth 50 points. 3 2s is only worth 200 points, which means that if you calculate that into each individual die, it's only worth 200 divided by 3, so 66 or 67 points. It doesn't divide evenly. So that's not much better. I would call that a bad use of dice, because you could potentially get a lot more points from those 3 dice. And by the way, as you see here, she's played 3 dice. She's rolled 3 dice. If these were 2s and she was only getting 200 points, actually this is even worse. She's only getting 150 points because these are 2 separate rolls, and this is another roll. The problem is she's not really earning much with this, and she's risking losing it with just 3 dice. However, in this case, since she's not earning that much anyway, I would say it's worth the risk, because all she's going to lose is 150. If these happen to be rolled all at once, all of these 5s, and she had 500, I wouldn't risk I wouldn't risk another dice roll on just 3 dice, knowing that there's a good chance that I will bust and then lose those 500 points. But back to the point with the 2s, 3 2 or triple 2s is not a good play of dice. I wouldn't play that on an initial roll unless I had to, because it was the only thing that I had.
And I screwed myself. Oh wait, no, I didn't. Okay, we want to hold these. Okay, this is actually good. I got pretty lucky, and then we want to score and pass. 650. Okay, we're in the lead by a lot.
No luck tonight.
Ooh, he's getting really unlucky. Okay, what do we got? 3 2s. Or we could do the 2 6s.
No. She could do the 3 2s that we just discussed, and then she said, or the 2 6s. But 2 6s is a pair, and by the way, I think she's looking at these 2 dice, and that's a 5, not a 6. I don't want to go over the 3 2s again, but if we look at this dice that she has right now, her best play is to play this single 1 dice, because that will give her 100 points, and then she can score and roll again, and then roll 5 dice. That will be the best use of her dice. Another option is she could play all but 1 of these dice right now. She could score all 3 2s and get 200 points for that, then play the 1 dice and get another 100 for that, for a total of 300, and she could play the 5 dice to get an extra 50 points on top of that, for a total of 350. That would leave her with 1 dice, and obviously she would not want to roll again, because she would probably go bust. So she could score 350 and then end her turn, or her best bet would be to play 100, get 100 points for playing the 1 dice, and then roll 5 again. That might be a hard call, but she definitely doesn't have any choices with the 6 there that she's thinking.
Probably taking the 2 6s is better. I think. It doesn't say what I have selected for some reason. I can just take all of this. I think I should just take all of this. Wait, I can't take all of that. Oh, this is not a 6. I'm dumb. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Okay. If we take that, it's 300. I think we should just take it, because he's got to catch up by a lot. I think we should score and pass with that. Clearly, I need more coffee today. Jeez.
Now you.
He kept a 1 and a 5? He got screwed again? Is this guy like a complete noob at dice or what? Alright, we've got 2 1s. We're gonna score and roll again, look for some more 1s. No luck, but we did get 2 5s, so we're gonna hold those and pass. Okay.
Finished.
Alright, he's starting to get points now, so...
Okay, I'm going to pause before she comments here. So she's in a really good position right now because her opponent has 600 points. She has 1250. She is in the lead. She just rolled 3 6s and a 5. That's 650 points, which so almost gives her a win, just a little shy of a win. She could choose to save the 3 6s only for 600 points and then roll again, but I would consider that a high-risk roll. This is probably her best single roll yet, being able to score 600 points here. And one thing you don't want to do is just arbitrarily decide to risk. Your risk will always be based upon your potential win and your current win. So if she plays the 6s for 600 points and then risks it with another roll, she's risking losing her best roll yet. I would not risk losing 600 points with 3 dice. Or, so that being the case, I would keep the 3 6s and the 5 for 650 and then keep my points and pass. And I wouldn't bother with rolling the last 2 dice. But watch what happens here.
Let's start to, we could play a little bit more by, scarily, if we want. Let's take some chance.
She says, let's take some chance. She picked the worst time to take a chance. The one time she scored a 600 on her first roll. That is not when you take the chance.
It's may have some excitement.
But it is exciting.
Let's score and roll again. Come on, 6s. Ooh, all right, got lucky.
So she again is thinking that if she can add a 6 to a previous score, so that's why she's saying, come on, 6s. And she got a 6, and so she's happy, but she hasn't quite noticed the bust yet because she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have a 1, she doesn't have a 5, and she doesn't have a triple. And you need those in order to score.
Wait, no, I got to keep that 6, don't I?
Nope, you lost your 600.
I thought I got to keep a 6.
Because she went bust. And now she's looking at the camera awkwardly like, I'm doing something wrong.
Maybe I'm not understanding the game completely
all.
right. Alright, it's fine. This is points, isn't it? It's all points?
No, it's not all points. She's thinking that because she's seeing 2 dice and she's thinking that a pair will get you points, but it won't. You need 3 of a kind, 1s or 5s. Now, she's so close to a win, but well, I wouldn't say she's so close to a win, but she's near to a win. But she can't win it with this. She could play both of her singles for 200 points and roll again, or she could just play one of her singles and then roll 5 dice. That would increase her odds of getting the triple. That's the play I would do. I would only play one of the singles, one of the 1 dice to get 100 points, and then roll 5. The reason being is because you look at his score of 650 and you think, oh, he's so far away from 2,000, but he's not. 2,000. I mean, he could hit 2,000 in just a roll or 2, even if he gets lucky. 3 1s, for example, will pay you 1,000 points, or will give you 1,000 points.
Hold all of that. Apparently, can only hold 2 dice.
So she's going to keep her 2 singles for 200 points and roll 4 dice, and then get unlucky.
Okay. Turns out the safe route that I was playing is much better.
The safe route isn't necessarily better. And safe shouldn't be a general strategy. Safe depends on how close you are to winning and the amount that's at stake at the time. So it's a roll by roll and turn by turn consideration. There are times when you want to risk it and times when you want to play it safe. But if you try to play it safe all the way to 2,000, you're probably not going to win unless your opponent is incredibly unlucky.
Finished.
Wait, why is he able to hold 1, 5, and 3 4s, and I wasn't able to hold?
She asked, why was he able to hold 1, 5, and 3 4s? Because 5 is one of the 2 dice that you can score by just having the single dice, and 3 4s is a triple that would give him 400. It's when you triple it, it's the value of the dice times 100. So 6 5s, for example, or 3 5s, for example, would be 500. The exception being the 1s. 3 1s would be 1,000. That's the best triple you can get. The second best triple being 3 6s for 600.
A similar setup. Okay, there's definitely something I'm not understanding then. Hold the 1s, and can we hold the 3s? No, we can't hold the 3s. I can hold the 5, but I can't hold the 6.
Right. She could play these 3 dice right now if she wanted to for 250 points, but they're both very close, and that's only going to leave her with 3 dice, or actually 1, 2. Yeah, she played the 2 1s and the 5s. That would leave her with 3 dice to roll on a second time if she decided to risk it. But your chance of scoring are pretty slim when you're only rolling 3 dice. She just busted on her previous roll, which had 4 dice that she was rolling with. So due to that and the fact that they're so close in score right now, her best bet is to just keep one of the 1 dice for 100 points and then roll 5 and hope she gets a triple.
Or the 3. Okay, I don't understand, but I'm gonna...
But she's going to play half of her dice for a low score of 250.
I think I should score and pass. I don't want to risk not getting any points this time, because I'd like to win. I don't want to lose my money, you know?
Finished.
Okay. Let's see.
She
I hit the wrong
misclicks.
button. I hit the wrong button. You know what? This is the only part of the game that's easier on console.
That could have cost her the game, but her best play there was also the single 1 dice. But she misclicked.
For some reason. Well, I may have just screwed myself.
And now
out
he's
of a
scoring
win.
well.
Oh my god. Okay. Whoa, dude!
He's already won, but he's still rolling, so there's a chance he could bust.
I think he just won. Because I passed my turn like an idiot.
Finished.
At least I only bet 5. Alright, you know what, dude? We're playing again, man. I don't...
Okay, so she does a lot better in her second playthrough, or her second game, but you can tell there's still some confusion. So, this is an easy game to play. The instructions are a bit confusing. The easiest thing is just to remember that you can win with 1s, 5s, and triples of any dice. And triples would include more than triples too: 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, 6 of a kind. I don't think I've ever seen 4 of a kind rolled yet. I have seen triples though. And that's it. So I might do another video later actually playing the game myself and then commenting as I go along. I picked her video because there were quite a few mistakes made, and as I said, it's not to pick on her, but it's really easier to understand sometimes when you're looking at other people's mistakes. So that's have it. Good luck with dice in Kingdom Come.